The War with Mexico by Antonio Roy
The
Ignacio.
manifest destiny is when the Americans believed God gave them the divine right to conquer more land and thought it was their destiny and bound to happen. After Polk's election in 1844, and so the manifest destiny became government's policy. By the 1840s, Americans moved into the Oregon Territory. In 1846, the United States and Great Britain agreed to divide Oregon at the 49th parallel, which extended the boundary line between Canada and the U.S. In 1845, Congress admitted Texas as a slave state, in spite of Northern objections to spread slavery. Even though Mexico still claimed Texas as its own, and so Mexico got angry over this, so Mexico and Texas could not agree on a border between them, so Mexico decided to fight over its claim on Mexico. It's believed the Americans supported the expansions. Polk wanted to force the issue with Mexico, so he purposely stationed troops of the bank of Rio Grande. The river bank was part of the territory. Mexico moved an army to a place near the southern bank. In 1846, a Mexican cavalry unit crossed the Rio Grande. They had ambushed a patroller and 16 American soldiers. With the word of Congress saying, Mexico has invaded our territory and shed American blood upon American soil, and Congress declared war with Mexico, so the war with Mexico began. Volunteers from the West and the President of Mexico who built the army, Abraham Lincoln, questioned the truthfulness of the president's message and the need to declare war. Northerns questioned the justice of men dying in such a war. General Stephen Kearny left Fort Leavenworth, Kansas, with orders to occupy New Mexico. Using persuasion, Kearny's army to withdraw the war. It would allow him to take New Mexico without firing a single bullet. In California, the Americans would be led by an excellent explorer named John C. Fremont, would rebel against the Mexican rule in the Bear Flag Revolt. They arrested the Mexican commander of Northern California and raised a flag with a grizzly bear on it. Soon then, the Americans controlled all of California. The Mexican army was way larger, but the U.S. troops were led by well-trained officers. American forces would then invade Mexico in two different ways. In southern Mexico, fighting continued. A second force led by General Winfield Scott landed at Veracruz on the Gulf of Mexico and battled Mexico City. A Mexican officer then said, "God is a Yankee." Then, finally, on February 2nd, 1848, the war officially ended with the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo.